Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're going to do some Pottery Barn inspired Easter decor. And this video is a collaboration with GaPeach Cooks and Plans. Don't forget to check out her channel. First thing we're going to make is this Easter filler, this foil egg jar filler. And it is as simple as buying these eggs from the Dollar Tree, taking them off their stems and filling them in this vase. Now this is actually the small cylindrical vase. I just happen to have that at home already. But for $24.50 you don't get the vase, you just get the filler. And as you can see here, I'm just taking these eggs from the Dollar Tree and I'm taking them off their stems and I'm filling the jar. That's it. From what I can tell from the advertisement, you get two large eggs, 5 medium eggs, and 5 small eggs. Here I'm actually adding even more. I've added a bunch of small eggs. But then you just play with it. I mean, that's what you do when you get it from the Pottery Barn too, is you just have to design your own. But I'm just making it look like it did in the picture. So there it is, that's it. I've done the very best that I could to make it look like it just came from the Pottery Barn. And this cost me all of $3 for the filler and $1 for the vase. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make this egg-shaped wreath with foil eggs. Now the one from the Pottery Barn for $129, yes people, $129, is lighted with those little LED twinkle lights, which you can get at Michael's and Joann's for like less than $10. So I'm gonna make this wreath for about $11. It would cost me because I had to pay $5 for this wreath form at Dollar General with the flowers on it. Okay, so we're also gonna need these gold foiled eggs, just the two sizes, the medium and the small. And we're going to need these 2 branches of pussy willows from the Dollar Tree and this long grass type stuff from the Dollar Tree. It was by the floral garden section. I'm sorry, by the floral section. Glue gun, glue sticks, scissor, and floral wire, also from the Dollar Tree. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we have to shape our willow wreath like an egg, and basically, yep, that's just it. Push the top in. Most of these willow wreaths are held together by wire, and the wire does hold its shape somewhat. I was originally thinking we'd have to like soak it in hot water or heat it with a hairdryer, but when I pushed it, it stayed like an oval. Now it's not exactly an egg shape, so you can see I'm still trying to just push the top the best I can, but it'll the extra grass at the top will help make it look a little bit more like the one from the Pottery Barn. It'll give it more of an egg shape. And the next thing I'm doing here is I am putting wire. The wire is going to be used to hold it, you know, to hang it, but it's also trying to bring the top closer together to make a little bit more of egg shape than just an oval. So I've fed it through some of the willow, and then I am stretching it across just about 2 inches from the top. And I'm stretching it across and going in. See, I'm going in the willow. And then, that's it. Okay, go come through. And then I'm going to pull the wreath close to my body on the top and pull the wire tight. So it eventually, over time, the egg shape won't disappear. You know, it won't relax and disappear. So this is also going to double as a hanger. So it's good that we do this now. Okay. So the next thing is going to be adding the extra grass twiggy feel. When you do a floral arrangement, you want to start with the background. Lots of times, I took a class at 1-800-Flowers when I was in New York, and that's one of the things they showed us to do is don't start with your main focus flower, start with your background. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add some extra grass. If you remember from the sample in the beginning, their willow wreath, their twig wreath was much looser and had a lot more like free form. So I'm just trying to mimic that with this extra grass stuff that you got from the Dollar Tree. Okay, and this one, because they had different colors, this one is sort of like the brown color, okay? I wanted to go with the same color as the willow. And what I'm doing here is I'm just weaving it through the already existing wire on the form, the wreath form. I'm not even needing any glue at this point. I'm just training it. Now this particular wreath, because it already had flowers on it, came with these brown twist ties, almost like, you know, you put on a sandwich bag, but or bread bag, I'm sorry. But you can just use the floral wire if you don't have that. I just happen to have all of these brown twist ties on there, which was pretty good. So I went ahead and I'm going to twist tie one of them just to the very end, and I'm going to use that to secure pretty much all of the floral stuff that comes through the bottom. And then I'm just trimming off the extra, because this particular grass got fat at the ends and skinny at the top, so I just really want the skinny pieces to kind of stick out. Okay, so then I'm just gonna keep going with a couple of layers. I think there was like 10 twigs in the pack, so I put like 5 on each side or 4 on each side just to make it look a little bit looser. So there you have it. You kind of see that there's just grass hanging out, and that's sort of the look it was going for. The next thing we want to do is put on the pussy willows. The pussy willows were 2 long branches, and when I looked at the sample, it had just a few different twigs on it, a few different branches on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate all of the branches of the pussy willows. I'm going to lay the big branch down, and then I'm going to add the little branches as I see fit to fill. And those of you new around here, I've gone through this before. I just take my regular scissor with Dollar Tree Floral and I score the rubber outside. I cut the rubber outside and score the wire, and it just snaps back and forth in like 2 tries. It pops right off. So you don't need a wire cutter, okay? But you also don't want to use your favorite fabric scissor. This is just an inexpensive scissor from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm doing here is this particular branches of pussy willows had leaves on them, but the sample did not. So I'm just pulling the leaves off. The florals from the Dollar Tree do come apart when you just tug. So they had these little bud looking things where the leaves were. So I pulled the plastic bud off, pulled the leaf off, and then put the plastic bud back on the little stump. Okay, so just do that for all of them. If you feel like you want green in there and leaves, it's just that the sample didn't have it. So that's all. That's why we went with that. So here I thought I might train it, basically hold it down with hot glue. But the hot glue wasn't really doing it. It really wasn't like giving it that free form. It was making it look stuck. So what I did was I just kept tucking it under wire wherever I could get it, or under little willow branches wherever I can get it, just to make it look more natural. And then you just want to repeat it on the other side. You basically want both willows to come from the bottom around the sides towards the top. Okay, and then you just play with it till you get it where you like it. If you want to refer to the sample, you can. But I was just using the sample as a inspiration, so I just went with that. Okay, so now we're going to glue the eggs on the bottom. Originally I thought that the big eggs, like if you saw the earlier, there was the 3-size eggs in the jar, but I thought the big eggs would be good. But then as I put them on, I realized that the big eggs were too big for this particular wreath. If I had had a bigger wreath form or a larger wreath, then maybe the bigger eggs would have worked as well. But I found that the medium eggs and small eggs were perfect. So I just went ahead and used the inspiration piece. There was just a few big eggs with some little eggs scattered around them, and that's where I went with it. And then a few little eggs were creeping up the side, but that's all we did here. We just kept hot gluing. sorry. I kept hot gluing and looking at it and deciding where I thought there was a space that would look cute with an egg, and there you have it. So and then as you can see here, I turned it over so that I could see, you know, basically a different angle, which is really an important thing when you're crafting. You want to take a look at it from every which way, because there might be a holiday, or, well, that's what my dad used to call when there was a space left that did get crafted or painted. There could be a place where you think like, oh yeah, that could really use an egg. So that's it. I think that it's super simple, and I really believe that anybody could do it. You know, if what I'm doing here is I just feel like it needed a little bit more pussy willows hanging out, you know, just shooting off to the sides, again, to give it that more free-form natural feel. And really, that's it. Here it is hanging on my door. And the final project is this bunny bunting. It was $12.50, so it wasn't as much money as the other crafts were. But this one I'm going to make for no money to me. But if you wanted to buy the supplies, here's what I used. While the supplies go across the screen, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm going onto Google and I'm searching an image of a bunny silhouette, the one that I really like. This one is sitting down, and I printed it on a overhead projector transparency. Just wanted to make sure it was the right size. The finished banner should be roughly 5 by 8 or 6 by 8 each panel. So I wanted to make sure that the bunny fit nice. And then what I'm doing is I'm just making the transparency a little wider, because my bunny wouldn't print in the middle, because I was working off my iPad and I have a program that doesn't like me. No, I'm just kidding. So I just taped some of the transparency to the left, and now I'm cutting the bunny out with my X-Acto knife. I'm just creating a stencil. You can always do this freehand. You can always trace each bunny with a marker instead of cutting out the transparency and using tape. There's lots of other ways to do this, but this is the way I just found that was the easiest. Okay? And you don't have to cut the bunny's tail off, because this is a cottontail bunny. He's going to get a little pom-pom for a tail. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut each banner, and we're going to make them 8 inches long. I couldn't decide if I wanted to go with the original design, which was the thread, it was threaded through the banner, or if I wanted to fold over the string and glue. But my burlap held up enough that I just threaded it through. So 8 inches was as long as I just needed to make it. If you do want to fold it over, you might want to add just a ½ inch for that fold over, or an inch even, however long you want to fold it over. As long as the finished length has enough room for the bunny and a little burlap at the top and a little burlap at the bottom, you're good to go. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create that peak at the bottom, that banner shape. And if you have watched ribbon tutorials for me before, you know how to do this. Otherwise, you fold it in half, you cut from high on the fold to down on the point, and then we're just going to stencil away. I'm just putting the bunny anywhere. You know, if you guys have never stenciled before, the biggest thing is to load your brush evenly. Don't load your brush, and then just to pounce up and down. Don't drag, because if you drag, it'll get under the stencil. But just like I'm doing here, just pounce up and down, up and down. I do like to go along the edges first so I can get clean edges, and then fill in the middle. Okay, so then just repeat to all 5 bunnies. I'm doing things a little out of order. Instead of cutting the tails and all of the different banners, I'm letting them dry a little bit. So I'm going ahead and picked out my 5 mini pom-poms, this giant bag of pom-poms that I've had forever. And then I'm going to go ahead, once they've dried a little bit, and they do dry rather quickly because it's craft paint and it's burlap. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use the first one to lay on top of each one and cut the same peaks out of the bottom. This way, if one's crooked, they're all crooked as long as they're the same. Now I'm done with that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to glue the pom-poms on. So make sure you have some protective thing over your table surface because it's burlap, the glue is going to go through onto whatever it is. So this is the craft mat from the Dollar Tree. And if I'm putting glue on the pom-pom, not on the burlap, and then I'm pressing it down, but I'm moving it right away so it doesn't stick to the plastic. And then it's just that easy. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our jute twine. Now the original inspiration was 6 feet long, but you can make it as long as you want, and you can add as many bunny banners as you want. I guess I'm just trying to copy the inspiration. So I tie the loop on one end so that they don't all fall off one side, and then I'm wrapping a piece of packing tape around the end of the thread to create sort of a needle, just so I can neatly go through all the burlap. So I just did like 5 rows down, 2 rows in, and just went in the front and then out the back, and then strung all 5 of them together. And once I was done, I tied a loop on the other end and I hung it up for everybody to see. It's just that simple. I hope you really like these tutorials. I really hope that you enjoy these Pottery Barn inspired Easter decorations made for little or no money. And I hope you join us next time. Don't forget to check out GaPeach Cooks and Plans. That's GaPeach Cooks and Plans. And she's the one I collaborated with on this video. And head over to her channel and make sure you give us some love. As always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time.